You've been trusted to create a place that matters, a church, a venue, an experience that's supposed to shape people, move hearts, and stand for generations. But right now, you're stuck in meetings where everyone has opinions and no one has clarity. You're looking at budgets and timelines, and every decision feels like a risk you'll have to live with for decades. Here's what we do at Mythodium. We help church leaders and experience-driven developers clarify their vision before construction begins, so they end up with a place that truly reflects their values, moves people emotionally and spiritually, and stands the test of time. If you're responsible for a project like this and you refuse to settle for something ordinary, keep watching. Let me guess where you're at right now. Maybe you've worked with traditional architects who delivered technically correct drawings, but the finished space felt flat, like sets without souls. Maybe you've hired creative designers with exciting ideas, but when it came to actually build it, nothing translated. The concepts were imaginative, but they fell apart upon real-world constraints. Maybe you've tried managing the story and vision internally, brainstorming themes and ideas in committee meetings, only to end up with something fragmented. Each element made sense on its own, but nothing worked as a whole. Or maybe you've seen renderings that looked absolutely stunning on screen, but then during construction, you watch the key ideas get quietly cut because they're always too expensive or too impractical. And here's what keeps you up at night. You know that this project will definitely be your legacy. Parishioners will worship here, guests will walk through here, and if you get it wrong, you'll have to explain it away for years. The worst part is you care deeply about beauty and meaning, but you don't feel equipped to lead this alone. And you're terrified of spending a lot of money and still ending up with something forgettable. And honestly, I don't blame you, because on top of everything else on your plate, you're expected to somehow become an expert in architecture, storytelling, fabrication, code compliance, guest flow, budget management, and stakeholder alignment, all while running a parish and managing a development. The gap between where you are and where you need to be feels impossible to bridge alone. And the people you've worked with before, they've either understood the creative side or the construction side, but never both at once. Here's what makes Mythodium completely different. We don't start with form, style, or budget. We start with meaning and story. We use a proprietary process called IIDP. It turns your imagination into buildable reality before you commit to major decision. Here's what that looks like. First, we help you define the story and purpose of your space. This means everyone, from committees to stakeholders to leadership, gets aligned around a unified vision before a single dollar is spent. Second, we visualize the concept so you can actually see and experience it before construction begins. That means no more surprises, no more, "that's not what I imagined," moments halfway through the build. Third, we unify architecture, narrative, and execution under one roof. This means the vision you approve is the vision that gets built. Nothing gets value engineered under pressure. And fourth, we protect your decision-making throughout the entire process. This means you make the informed choices with full visibility, reducing the fear of being the person who got it wrong. You're not hiring another vendor. You're hiring a guide who can take you from vague ideas to meaningful places. So if this sounds like something you need, book a clarity call with us. On that call, we'll help you articulate what your space is really meant to accomplish, identify what's holding you back, and give you a realistic path forward. You'll walk away with direction and confidence whether we work together or not. Let me explain why this approach changes everything. Most projects fail not because of budget or creativity. They fail because meaning is decided too late, when it's most expensive and least flexible to change. Think about it. When stakeholders aren't aligned early, you get endless debates and redesigns mid-project. When the vision isn't clearly visualized before construction, you get compromise that quietly strips away what the project might be. Our process flips the script. By clarifying meaning first and making it visible early, you reduce the risk, align stakeholders, and protect the vision. What you approve is what gets built. Even if you choose another path after our concept phase, you still walk away with clarity, direction, and alignment. That alone saves months of uncertainty and prevents costly mistakes down the road. Now you may be thinking, this sounds incredible, but I'm worried it's going to be too expensive. Here's the thing. Most clients spend more correcting mistakes, redesigns, and late-stage changes than they ever would clarifying the vision up front. This first phase is intentionally scoped as a small, controlled investment compared to the cost of building or renovating itself. Think of it as a protection for everything that comes after. You may also be thinking, this isn't the right time. We're still fundraising, still deciding, and it's still too early. But here's what's really happening. Waiting doesn't keep things neutral. It makes them worse. Inflation rises, deferred maintenance costs more, leadership changes, and every year you delay, people continue to experience a space that fails to inspire. Clarity is what you need to move forward wisely. That's exactly what the first conversation provides. If you refuse to settle for ordinary, forgettable design, and if you want clarity and confidence before you commit, then book a clarity call below. On that call, we'll talk through your project, your concerns, and what you want the space to do for your people. You will leave with a clearer vision of what's possible, an understanding of the right scope and the next steps, and a realistic path forward. No pressure, no obligation, just direction. Because the place you're responsible for could be forming hearts, strengthening community, and creating lasting memories right now.